Sharing here the cloud security shared responsibility model. What is the cloud security shared responsibility model? When the customer, like organization or agency, uses the services like compute, network, and storage from a cloud provider like AWS, Azure, and Google, the security responsibility falls on both the customer and the provider. The sharing of responsibility is different based on cloud service models. Here, we are taking into consideration the common three service models plus the on-premises to provide a high-level picture of the cloud security shared responsibility model. A brief overview of cloud service categories or models before we jump into the shared security responsibility model. Start with infrastructure as a service. Under infrastructure as a service, vendors provide basic computing, networking, and storage services to the customers. Compared to platform as a service and software as a service, customers do have more freedom to customize services in infrastructure as a service. So, the customer does have more control. At the same time, customers' shared security responsibility is higher in comparison to platform as a service and software as a service. Platform as a service. Under platform as a service, the vendor provides a platform to the customer. The customer uses the platform to develop, test, and run their applications. So, customers do not need to worry about server management. Here, the customer shared responsibility is lower than the infrastructure as a service, but higher than software as a service. So, is the control. AWS Lambda is an example. Software as a service. In software as a service, the provider provides everything. Hence, customers do not need to worry about anything, just use the application provided by the cloud provider. The customer does have the least shared security responsibility in comparison to infrastructure as a service and platform as a service. So, is the least control. Note, important to keep in mind, at the end of the day, the data owner is the one responsible for the data security and compliance. Finally, we come to the high-level overview of the cloud security shared responsibility model. In this model diagram, using color aqua for the customer and a light blue for the cloud provider. We start with on-premises. The customer in on-premises does control or manage everything. That is data, application, identity access management, network, operating system, hardware, and a data center. In infrastructure as a service, customer manages or control data, application, identity access management, and operating system. The cloud provider manages the hardware and data center. When it comes to networking, the customer has limited control over some networking components. So, shown in the picture as sharing the network responsibility by customer and provider. In platform as a service, cloud customer manages the application and data and shares the identity access management responsibility with the cloud provider. The cloud provider manages the network, operating system, hardware, and data center. Identity access management shared by cloud customer and provider. In software as a service, Cloud customer manages only the data and shares the identity access management responsibility with the cloud provider. The cloud provider manages everything: application, network, operating system, hardware, and data center, and shares the identity access management responsibility. As mentioned earlier, it is important to keep in mind at the end of the day, the data owner, that is, cloud customer, is the one responsible for data security and compliance. Thank you very much for watching.